Hi everyone, I'm Associate Professor Sarah Weiss, and welcome back to this Research Skills Primer, Editing, that often neglected but incredibly valuable research task. In today's Research Skills Primer, we're going to give you a few tips and hints to improve your research essay editing. So the first thing I want to say about editing is often we push ourselves to the deadline, we procrastinate until things are due, and we really don't give ourselves enough time and space to edit. But editing is one of the key things that you can do not only to improve your writing, but to improve your marks. So if you're going to spend all the time writing and researching an essay, make sure that you build in enough time to allow for editing. You'll find it's extremely valuable. Now, editing and proofreading are quite different things. When we're proofreading, we're looking for things like spelling or grammatical errors, typos, pretty simple stuff. Is there a missing full stop? When we're editing, we are critically analyzing our work to ensure that we are first getting across the messages that we thought we were getting across, and that we're doing so in a really clear way so that even a reader unfamiliar with our topic could understand what it is that we're trying to convey. So when we're editing a document, we want to look at things like, am I using active voice? So go through, if you've got a lot of has-beens and could-haves and passive voice, see if you can switch your sentences around to make them more active. You will end up with a more engaged reader. Have a look at your essay as a whole and think about whether you have really focused on what matters most. Do you need to reduce text in one area to increase text in another area? And most often in research essays, you're going to want to devote the bulk of your essay to your analysis and discussion. So you want to make sure you're focusing on what matters most and that you're not being overly descriptive. You want to make sure that you've got clear transitions. So can your reader follow your logic that makes perfect sense in your own head? Is that clear on the page? Have you included transition sentences, or are you jumping between paragraphs? Sometimes the addition of a very simple transition sentence to lead from one paragraph to another, or the use of subheadings, can really assist to pull your essay into one cohesive piece. And that will also ensure that you have a clarity of ideas. So again, when you're reading through, think about whether an unfamiliar reader or a friend that you're just introducing to this topic would understand what you're saying through your writing. Subheadings are a great way to do this, and I mentioned them before in relation to transitions. They're a terrific thing to use. You should check with your lecturer as to whether they like them. Personally, I think they're great, but you don't have to use them. But subheadings can really serve as signposts in your essay to demonstrate to your reader both what's important and also what's coming next. So they can give a really nice structure to your essay. Another great thing about subheadings is that they can be a little humorous if you like that, and so they can be a way to kind of wake your reader up if things are a little dry. And finally, editing does include proofreading. So it's not only proofreading, but proofreading should be the final part of your editing process. So here, if you want to download the PowerPoint slides without the video, I've linked to a number of websites that are very helpful to give you some hints and tips about how to go about the editing process. But one of the things I really recommend is that you may wish to read your essay from end to beginning. So sometimes just going through your essay backwards is a great way to make sure that you have told the tale you wish to tell. Often when students write theses or long form papers, I will suggest to them that the last section they may wish to write is going to be their introduction so that you can make sure the entire thing matches up and that the conclusion that you come to at the end is where you said you were going to end up in the beginning. Another really important approach to editing, or a tip that works, is to allow yourself a bit of time between completing your writing and doing the editing. And ideally, that would be at least overnight, if not over the course of a day. So set your writing aside, go and do something else, go and enjoy yourself, do something that will not even be close to thinking about your essay, so that when you come back to it, you're a bit fresh. And that leads me to my final point. It really, really does help to have a fresh set of eyes to look at your writing, and someone who you're close enough to that they can be honest and critical and really give you constructive feedback. So enlist a critical friend and maybe offer to help them in return. So it's really, really great to get a third set of eyes on your writing, not for purposes of collusion, folks, but for purposes of clarity. Finally, on our course website and throughout the interwebs, you can find style guides. And I really recommend having a look at these. The one that I provide for you on the course website comes from my home university, the Australian National University, and it gives you hints and tips about language use, as well as some ideas about the different styles of referencing that you can use in research essays. So a style guide can be a terrific friend. And indeed, one book that I recommend if you really want to improve your writing skills is Strunk and White's The Elements of Style. And for those of you who've ever enjoyed the children's book Charlotte's Web with some pig, E.B. White is the same author, and he was just a terrific writer and editor. So that's it from me for today. I really hope those hints and tips about editing get you on the road to a successful essay and make you feel really good about what you're turning in. So give yourself that time, enjoy the editing process, enlist a critical friend. I look forward to reading your essays, and we'll see you on the internet.